Hi, this is Nick Kazine, Chief Operating Officer for BDSec with your weekly market update. This past week we saw some commentary from Governor Mongolia officials that could best be described as mixed or even negative. But first with the Prime Minister, his 100 days in office is officially up last week. In the U.S., we call this the honeymoon period, and that's a period of time where generally, new presidents, new prime ministers have the greatest chances to get meaningful things done. And so that 100 days has passed, and while there's been a lot of activity in terms of legislation, there hasn't been anything meaningful that's reversing the trends here in Mongolia. And those trends are an economy that's in steep decline, a currency that continues to depreciate very near 2,000 MNT to the dollar, and then of course a steep decline in foreign direct investments and investment. And those flows have not only gone to very negative numbers year over year. They're now below zero. For the first 6 months, it was 140 million FDI flow below zero. And so what the Prime Minister did come out and state last week is the negative effect that travel bans are having on foreign inflows into the country, and that's certainly true. We'll see to what extent the government can actually pass legislation to change those policies. It's not going to be easy because you have a country that is getting closer and closer to an election, and this is a hot button issue where with the president pardoning the South Gobi employees, that was a very unpopular decision among citizens here. And so the idea that you're going to get meaningful legislation that actually changes the laws and not allowing travel bans except in the most extreme circumstances, it's going to be hard to get done. So to look across to some other policy comments, Dag Gombold was asked, and he's the CEO of Erdness Oye-Togoi and an OT board member. He was asked this last week about Taban Togoi, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said something to the extent that I don't want to answer anything about Taban Togoi. We have enough problems at Oye-Togoi. So that's a board member, and that's the CEO again of the government holding company. On Friday, the chief of staff, Bayertsok, who was actually one of the signatories on the OT investment agreement, came out and said that with respect to Rio and OT's best and final offer that was made several months ago, towards the latter part of 2014, that now they're officially rejecting that, but saying that they're open to negotiations. And these two comments within a narrative that politicians have been trying to create, that OT could be solved in the near term. If that's the case, the message that is coming from various important policymakers within the government is just not a good one. And so if they want to convey the idea that resolution at OT is close, they're doing a very poor job. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and conclude. There really wasn't anything in the way of positive news to mention from the last week, but naturally we'll continue to watch things very closely here and hope for the best, and hope the country gets back on track with respect to foreign direct investment policies that will stimulate inflows and again return the country to best in the world GDP growth, or among countries that are growing the fastest, because that's certainly not the case right now. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll be in touch with you with another update next week. Thanks.